The Fan Connections Road to WrestleMania. The road starts here.
So we're taking it all the way back to WrestleMania 1, and we're willing to highlight all the key matches and moments
from WrestleMania 1 to WrestleMania 40 to get us ready for WrestleMania 41.
And as soon as WWE War Games Survivor Series has ended, y'all get ready, y'all buckle up.
After this year's Royal Rumble, the FC will be going live on YouTube and Facebook in order for Road to WrestleMania.
So y'all buckle up, it's going to be a long live.
Coming in hot, WWE Raw, December 23rd.
And it starts out with Drew McIntyre coming out, and you know, he's like got some words for everybody. His mission and everything's to take out the OG bloodline. So Sammy comes out and he's like, you know, hey guys, you know, like why's everybody acting like they didn't care about Drew McIntyre? Nobody said they didn't care about Drew McIntyre. It's just like you haven't been here, so we can't care.
He's just crying. He's like,
Crybaby Drew.
My kids miss me, and my girlfriend, my wife misses me, you know, and everything else. And Sammy's like, well, I make those sacrifices too.
Yeah.
And so he's like, just because you're mad doesn't mean you're special. Doesn't mean you're right. You know? And Sammy was kind of spitting. But, of course, they're going to fight, man. This is WWE.
Yeah. Sammy threw the first blow.
Yep.
And then they start brawling, and then, hey, main event Jey Uso made his return back.
And so I know a lot of people are happy about that.
But then, in the first match, it was the Intercontinental Title Tournament Triple Threat. Io Sky, Natalya, and Alba Fire. Io Sky ended up winning, as like me and Devin still thought. We knew that she was going to win because out of them three competitors, like, Natalya just wasn't wrestling good.
I don't know what got into her, bro, but she was botching. She kept like falling over, losing her balance. Like, she wasn't doing it right.
And Alba Fire, like, I mean, she's decent, but she's not, I don't think she's like known enough.
Yeah, and Io Sky, I mean, is just the most reliable choice out of all these people.
In which now, like, it's kind of crazy because in the tournament, how it lines up, like, Io Sky and Dakota Kai have potentially could face each other for that title.
And I wonder what that would look like inside of Damage Control.
It's starting to look a little interesting.
But up next, the Master, Chad Gable,
Our boy,
defeats Akira Tozawa.
And I mean, it is what it is. Like, he made him tap out, and then after that, I mean, Otis just was like, hey, don't do that, pretty much, you know?
Yeah, I mean, he whooped him up, made him tap out, and then kept whooping him up after the match because Chad Gable's just like that.
Yeah, he's just built different.
Yeah, and then so, of course, Otis is like, hey, you better stop.
Yeah, don't do that to my little buddy.
But the Creed brothers backed him up.
Yeah. So, I mean, finally next week on Raw, it's been announced that we will see Chad Gable versus Otis. But like me and you've talked about, like, I feel like they should have pulled the trigger on this a long time ago.
This should have already happened.
But then next, we get Dirty Dom and Damian Priest. But it ends in disqualification.
Oh, don't you love it?
Gotta happen on Raw, right? But there was a crazy, and like, call me out if I'm wrong, FTCs, but like, the War Raiders and Damian Priest, that seems like something special.
Hey, I don't hate it. It's an unlikely pairing. I would have never have thought to do this, but I mean, they're both really over right now, and I think there's only room for them to go up by working together.
So after this little thing, and like they come out and, you know, like take Damian Priest's side, help him and everything, we get a match confirmed. It's going to be the War Raiders and Damian Priest versus 3 members of the Judgment Day next week, and that's probably going to be a good match for real.
Yeah, I thought it was funny that Damian Priest like was calling out the Judgment Day, like finding where they were hiding and stuff.
Yeah, like throughout the match, like he just pretty much called out. It was like pretty much the whole storyline the whole time. Like he called all of them, and then Finn Balor comes out of nowhere because he turned his back. You know, like
yeah,
pretty much sums up their storyline.
But then Seth Rollins does an exclusive interview about CM Punk.
But exclusively didn't really say anything.
Yeah, he didn't say anything.
He just said, "Oh, I don't like you. You didn't return my phone calls."
He's like, "You're a hypocrite." He's like, "We didn't need you. You needed us.
We used to be friends," and that's pretty much it.
I
I even rewatched it, and I didn't know, like, I couldn't get anything out of it compared to what we've been actually seeing the last couple
they
weeks.
basically just said the match is happening on Raw Netflix.
It's like we knew that.
Yeah, we already knew that.
And then they come to say that they're going to be face-to-face next week, like we don't know, like... Spoiler, they're probably going to fight.
Yeah, and the security's going to come out.
And then Adam Pearce is going to take his glasses off all dramatic. It happens all the time.
You know, and both of these guys are better than this. It doesn't feel personal.
But Seth Rollins did say that this will be a fight, and that, like, you know, this is one of the biggest matches of Raw, and, like, he's not wrong. Seth Rollins versus CM Punk, that is a pretty big match.
If they're going to ride this to WrestleMania, then they're going to have to figure out a way to amp it up.
But in the next match, we get Dexter Lumis and The Miz. This match also ended in disqualification.
Boo.
And, like, Dexter Lumis, you know, he was kind of getting his little whoop on Miz, and then he goes on the outside of the ring to do his little spoopy stuff, and then Karrion Kross got him. And then they, like, start jumping him, or they're about to jump him, and then, obviously, the lights go out, and then here's the White Six. And they actually get the upper hand on the AOP this time.
Yeah, they just start all fighting, and the match is over. We didn't want to see that.
And then, like, there's this little spot where Eric Rowan picks Nikki Cross up and just throws her.
Yeah, and I'll give Karrion some props. He did a good job protecting her because she almost clunked herself out doing that.
We watched it a couple of times, and that was professionalism.
But the Wyatt Six, I don't know if they're like quite as heavy of a presence as they were when they first debuted.
Yeah, because was Uncle Howdy even there?
I don't think so.
I was gonna say I don't think I even seen Uncle Howdy. I seen all the other members, but I don't remember seeing him, unless he was just like in the background somewhere.
I don't think he was up there.
So that's a little weird, you know.
And if he was out there and we don't know that he was, that's a problem.
That's a problem. But then in the next little segment, Kofi and Xavier come out, right? And, like, they're cutting a little promo, and then Kofi's like, "Yeah, my mom flew all the way out here." And then he goes over to talk to his mom and get a hug from her, right? But then she's like, "No, Kofi.
I don't love you anymore, Kofi.
You hurt Big E's feelings."
Yeah, you hurt my son, Big E.
So she's like, "I don't want to play with none of your friends no more." So she literally left and, like, didn't give him a hug, and it hurt his feelings.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Right after that, they have this little, like, locker room leader type video segment going on with Rey Mysterio and them, and he's like trying to give them another chance, but then they're like, "What have you ever done?" You know, like this and that, and then like he pretty much is just like, "Well, don't say I didn't warn you, man. You know, like you should apologize to Big E." And then they're like, "We didn't do anything wrong."
Yeah, the New Day is sticking to their guns. I will give them that. They're stating for the record they've done nothing wrong. They don't feel bad about it.
So, I mean, it is what it is on that side. I mean, they are, like, making it a little bit more interesting with these little segments, you know, but I'm ready to see what's going to happen.
And I suppose they're doing, like, everybody's turning on them, right?
Yeah.
And I'm wondering what that's going to make the New Day do.
They're either going to apologize to Big E or, like, something's going to happen and they're going to end up, like, jumping them or something.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
Because, like, Royal Rumble's coming up, and, like, if they don't have a match or anything, all they got to do is go to the pre-show.
What if Big E's in the Rumble?
Ooh, that'd be good. Devin's still calling it first. Main event time.
Drew McIntyre defeats Sami Zayn. I think he's like 10-0 now.
It is a lackluster match, too, for real. Like, the only thing good coming out of it, I think, was Sammy's pants.
Yeah, bro. Not that I hate seeing these guys wrestle. It's not a bad main event. But I think their match on the PLE was better.
Yeah, it's just like every match they've ever had on Raw or SmackDown's kind of got the same momentum and same ending every time. Like, it's not like anything different we're seeing. And then after that, you know, like, Jey Uso comes out again and whatnot. And then, you know, he's about to hit the splash on Drew. And then Tama Tonga and the fake bloodline come out, and they're like, that ain't happening.
Practically to rescue Drew McIntyre. Like, I know they're working together, like, kind of made a truce, but I don't feel like that was made very clear.
Yeah, because at the same time, like on SmackDown last week, Drew McIntyre was like, after all this is done, I'm coming for you, Solo, because you costed me the title that one time. So it's like unclear of like what's going on, but yeah, it is a little bit more clear now that they are at least helping each other a little bit.
But we've seen the Bloodline dismantle people way worse than they did on Raw, and I just feel like you didn't really beat them up that bad.
So what's next for Drew Mac? Who's he going to target next? Like, you think he's going to go after Roman in the solo match?
I don't know. How do you guys think that Seth Rollins and CM Punk can get some more hype behind it?
And this AOP and Uncle Howdy and Wyatt Six thing, like, has it lost its sting completely?
You'll just have to catch us in the next episode to find out. And that's about it for this episode.
Like, comment, share, and subscribe.
As for the fan connection, we're out of here.